Good morning, gang. Joyce Welsh with Skipping Calves Farms. Um, just morning chores as usual. Here's that crazy looking busted up oak that the sheep were grazing on a few days ago. If you look down here, it almost looks like there might have been something that died, but no, that's just a lot of the hair off of the back of both of those ewes. And as you can see, they stripped the leaves and stuff off of the lower branches off of that oak. And in here was a lot of that. I need to find out what species of grass that is. It's this grass right here. If any of you guys know what that is, please let me know in the comments section. I left them in this paddock a little longer than normal because I had to be away for the day yesterday and decided to leave them in here because we were experiencing some pretty severe weather and I wanted them to have the protection of the trees and wasn't in a position to move them. So I also wanted, just as a learning point for all of us. So as you look along here, you can see that fence line. You can see some of the sprouts, the tree sprouts and things, because this was all an overgrown area, gang, that I had to cut quite a few trees out to clear. And as you can see, they went to town on those tree sprouts. I'm not sure if that was a wild cherry. I think it was. You can see down here some of the spiny, what I call thorny grapevines, wild grapevines. You can see their cousins right here on the other side of the fence. And the tops of those are getting scorched from bumping up against the fence. So that fence that they're hitting right there is 30 inches tall. And I just cleared all of this last winter, and I came back through and weed-eated it to the ground less than a month ago. So you can see how fast that's growing up. So one of the things I may consider is letting the mowing crew loose back on the back side, loose but not unsupervised, to clean this stuff up. And you can see how lush that green grass is back here. Now, before I cut the trees down, that grass really wasn't growing back here because it didn't have any sunlight. But in this general area, I probably cut 10 or 20 trees. And so you can see there's a break in the canopy. And so you can see how that patch of grass is growing up. It does not look like the sheep they're not hardly touching the goldenrod. And then I'm coming across here. Now this would have been like that a couple days ago. So you can see how they've cut that back. Now I moved them to this paddock yesterday and did not leave them that extra time. So this is basically what it looks like when I left it one day too long, and this is what it looks like when I left it just about right, and this is what it looks like when they first came into it. So that gives you an idea. Behind the fence there, that is about 8 to 12 inches tall, the grass itself. not the plants. Over here, we've got 6 to 8 inches residual. And over here, we've got 4 inches residual, maybe. So that's the difference in one day of extra grazing. And so I've got them down in an area down there. It's a small area, so I'm going to keep an eye on them today. But that's the idea, is just to give you some visuals of kind of the good, the bad, and the ugly. And overgrazing isn't critical when it's just one small paddock and you know it and you keep track of it and you make sure you don't come back to it until it's fully recovered. So with that, gang, I will zoom in here looking back across the creek, and I will wish you blessings for the day and just keep chasing the dream.